Good evening. This is Susan, and this is Susan's Ramblings. Today we have different recipes, many different recipes, recipes that include making your own instead of buying them over the counter at the store. The first one we've got is homemade baking powder. 1 tablespoon of baking soda, 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, 2 tablespoons of cream of tartar. Combine all your ingredients, stir in an airtight jar in a cool, dark pantry. You should have all of these ingredients on your shelves so you can make this in an emergency. Remember, with the high prices and the things that are going on in our troubled world and nation nowadays, it's best to have some of these recipes. Besides, I like making these things from scratch because then I know exactly what's in it, and that's important to me. Homemade baking powder. Can't get the next one out. Beanie Weenies. In some of our groups, people have been complaining that they can't find Beanie Weenies, and they use that as a protein. I saw some in my store the other day, and I was very tempted to pick them up and buy them. However, they have a much bigger food budget than I do, and I can't afford it. I couldn't afford to buy food for someone else. Anyway, here we go. Beanie Weenies. 16 ounces of tomato sauce. By the way, this makes 8 pints. 3 cups of water. 1/4 cup of brown sugar. 1 teaspoon of yellow mustard, 2 tablespoons of honey or molasses, 1 teaspoon of liquid smoke, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 2 pounds of navy beans, 2 medium diced onions, 1 package of hot dog slice or smoky slice. Mix together the sauce ingredients, your first 7 ingredients, and bring to a boil. Boil for 5 minutes. Layer in the pint jars the beans, the hot dogs, and the onions. 1/4 cup beans, 3 to 4 pieces of hot dogs, 1 tablespoon of diced onions. Pour 1 cup of sauce over the beans to bubble. Add boiling water to the jar, leaving 1-inch headspace. Process for 75 minutes for pints, 90 minutes for quarts. This is not an FDA-approved recipe, but it's one that I have successfully used, and I go by the rule, my kitchen, my rules. But you have to make up your own, research it, and make up your own decision. Okay, but we have eaten it for years, and we've had no problem. Homemade tater tots. How many of you like tater tot hot dish? In fact, tater tot hot dish is a favorite of my grandchildren and great-grandchildren, and my granddaughter loves making it for her family. 4 medium russet potatoes peeled, 5 to 6 tablespoons of flour, 2 teaspoons of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/2 tablespoon of dried rosemary that is chopped, and your oil for frying. Add the potatoes to a saucepan and cover with water. Bring to a boil for 7 minutes. That's 7. I gotta find a pencil to make that in clearer. Maybe I'll make it in clearer. I can find a pencil here. 7 minutes it is, though. Drain and cover with cold water. When the potatoes are cool enough to handle, grate into a large bowl and fill with water. Let it set for 5 minutes. Drain and repeat. Drain and fill the bowl again with water. Let it set for 5 minutes. Then you place the potatoes in a colander. Rinse and drain well. Repeat until the water runs clear. What we're trying to do is get the starches out of the potatoes. Pour the potatoes on a towel. Put another towel on top and firmly press down to remove the moisture. In a small bowl, place the 5 tablespoons of flour. Mix in the onion powder, garlic powder, and rosemary. Mix thoroughly. Place the potatoes back into the bowl. Sprinkle in the flour of the seasoning mixture, a little at a time, stirring until well combined. Using a tablespoon, spoon the mixture into your hands to form small discs about 1/2 inch thick. If the mixture doesn't hold together, add more flour to make it bind. Add enough oil to your Dutch oven and heat to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Cook the tots a few at a time until they're golden brown. Drain on a wire rack or on paper towels. Sprinkle with salt and pepper and serve warm. That's my homemade tater tots. Takes a while, but oh, are they good. Okay? Or, after they're done, freeze them individually and then put them in a vacuum sealed thing so you have it and freeze it. Homemade Spanish Rice-a-roni. 2 cups partook or long grain rice. 1 cup of angelhair pasta. 1 14-ounce can of diced tomatoes. 1½ cups of onions chopped. 2 to 3 garlic cloves minced. 4 cups of tomato or chicken broth. Or use tomato broth with chicken bouillon. 2 tablespoons taco seasoning. 4 tablespoons of butter. Melt the butter over medium heat in a heavy spotting skillet. Add onion and garlic. Stir well to coat. Add rice and the broken pasta to the pan. Stir to coat. Continue cooking over medium-high heat until the pasta and the rice take on a nutty aroma and a slightly toasted appearance. Add the taco seasoning and mix well. Add the tomatoes. Add the tomato chicken broth and stir to combine. Bring to a simmer, turn down to medium heat and cover. Cook for 15 to 18 minutes or until the majority of the liquid has been absorbed. Do not remove the lid. Turn off the heat and remove the pan to a cool burner or trivet. Allow to set 10 to 15 minutes without removing the lid. Fluff it and serve. Homemade Spanish style rice-a-roni. I guess I have mostly homemade stuff today. I just grabbed what I have, the papers that I have, before they go into my big vinyl books. And I have plenty of big vinyl books where I can find my recipes quite rapidly, although last night when I was looking for several recipes, I decided that was it, and I had to make an index for those books or I would be completely lost. I don't want to look through 500 recipes to find the one I want. That's just my final ones. Those aren't the ones that are still loose. Homemade apple cider vinegar. The cores and the peels from 6 to 8 apples. 2 tablespoons of sugar and water to cover. Place your peels and cores into a quart jar. Cover with water. Stir in the sugar. Place a coffee filter on top of the jar and secure it with a rubber band. Leave at room temperature for 2 weeks. Strain off the liquid. Put the liquid back into the jars. Cover with a coffee filter and rubber band to secure it. Let the liquid stand for 4 more weeks, stirring daily. After 4 weeks, taste to see if it has the acidity that you desire. If the acidity is where you want it, transfer to a covered jar for storage. If acidity is not reached, leave it in a jar and taste every few days until it is reached. Even if it doesn't give you the taste you want, it can still be used as a household cleaner. Homemade apple cider vinegar. But this is the recipe I use all the time. This is the recipe that's given me lots and lots of vinegar. Crispy Mozza sticks By the way, I just grabbed these recipes, so I really have no idea how they're going to come up or what they're going to come up by. 8 6x6 egg roll wrappers. 8 mozzarella cheese sticks. The oil for frying. Miranda sauce for dipping. Heat your oil to 375 degrees. Cut each egg wrapper in half diagonally. Cut each cheese stick in half. Place each cheese stick on each wrapper. Fold in the corners and wrap tightly, sealing the edges with water. Place each wrapped cheese stick in the hot oil for about 2 to 3 minutes or until brown and crispy. Drain. Serve with the meringue sauce. Crispy mozzarella sticks. Lemon snack cake. 1½ cups of flour. 3 tablespoons of cornmeal. 1 teaspoon of baking powder. 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. 1/2 teaspoon of salt. 2 teaspoons of poppy seed. 3/4 cup of sugar. 1 tablespoon lemon zest. 1/4 cup lemon juice. 3/4 cup plain yogurt. 1 egg. 1/3 cup vegetable oil. 1/2 teaspoon vanilla. Preheat oven to 350 degrees. Grease a 9 by 5 inch loaf pan. In the bowl, sift together the flour, the cornmeal. Did you have cornmeal? Yep. Cornmeal, baking powder, baking soda, and salt. Stir in the poppy seeds. In the second bowl, whisk together the sugar, lemon zest, lemon juice, yogurt, egg, vegetable oil, and vanilla. Add the flour mixture to the yogurt mixture and stir just until moistened. Pour the batter into the prepared pan. Bake at 350 degrees for 45 to 50 minutes or until tested. Done with a toothpick inserted near the center and the toothpick comes out clean. Cool in the pan for 10 minutes. Remove from pan and cool completely on a wire rack. This is a recipe from a lady in Texas, one of my friends in Texas. She's 80-some years old. She had a catering service outside, offered out of her home in Texas up until a couple of years ago. I think maybe 85, 86 years old. She's a go-getter. Easy French dip sandwiches. I realized that with the prices of meat, a lot of people won't be able to afford to chuck beef roast. But I also have a lot of people who raise their own beef. So, here we go. You chuck roast. 1 can of beef consomme. 1 can of French onion soup. Provolone seed, cheese slices, and rolls. Place your roast in a crock pot. Cover the roast with the beef consomme and French onion soup. Cover and cook on high 4 hours. Shred the beef. Place shredded beef on rolls. Apply provolone cheese, I don't know what that is, cheese slices. Dip in the resulting sauce. Easy French dip sandwiches. Copycat, A1 steak sauce. I got a lot of copycats and a lot of homemade stuff this time, don't I? 1/2 cup orange juice. 1/2 cup raisins. 1 cup soy sauce. 1/4 cup white vinegar. 2 tablespoons Dijon mustard. 1 tablespoon dried grated orange peel. 2 tablespoons of ketchup. 2 tablespoons of chili sauce. Put all ingredients in a saucepan over medium heat. Bring to a boil and stir constantly for 2 minutes of a roaring boil. Remove from heat. Wait 10 minutes. Pour the mixture into a blender. Pulse until pureed. Place in a tightly covered jar. Refrigerate and it will last approximately 3 months. Copycat A1 steak sauce. Oh, if we make sense out of this one. Cheese bread. This looks like one that hasn't been edited yet. That's what the words they come up with. 3½ cups of flour, 1 cup of lukewarm water, 3/4 tablespoon of yeast, 2 teaspoons of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 4/5 cups of non-watered. I don't know, we're going to skip this recipe until I get it fixed. Okay, ignore that one. So anyway, Susan's Ramblings. Look on Facebook under Susan Ramblings. I have a bunch of recipes there, a bunch of things I didn't publish here. It came up on Facebook, it came up on something, and it wouldn't let me transfer it over to YouTube, so I put it on my Facebook, Susan's Ramblings. So check that out. Alright, that's it for tonight. Have a great day, have a great night, wherever you are. I'll see you tomorrow. God bless you.